What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this MCU video. So it's been a while since we've done an MCU video. We've been a bit of a DC kind of binge at the moment, but there are some leaks coming here from 4chan, which look very, very curious, to say the absolute least. Now we're going into a brand new era of the MCU. The Infinity Saga has just wrapped up, and they are releasing those all as one package of Blu-rays, which I might get if there's a 4K version, because considering that the MCU is like 10 years old, I had most of it on kind of like DVD, then Blu-ray, and then just some bits and pieces on 4K, which are the ones I wanted to have in 4K, because 4K is like £28, and I kind of don't really want to pay £28 for a movie if I can avoid it. So a lot of it there is on DVD, which is absolutely weird. But we've got a new era of the MCU coming in now. And while we don't know what the overarching arc will be, and to be honest, we didn't really find out what the overarching story will be until quite late in, or kind of until the first Avengers movie, when we saw Thanos grinning there at the end like he had just smashed his crush silly for a few hours. But we've got the next era, so it's going to feature quite a lot of different things here. Of course, the Eternals may be a big part of it, introducing us to the Celestials. Maybe the Celestials will be the villains here of the piece, which I think would be pretty cool. And then maybe introduce us to Galactus leading off, and then Fantastic Four as well. But this is a bit of a mixture of different things here. So we have word that Taskmaster will be played by Viggo Mortensen, and Ray Winstone will play Black Widow's father in the flashbacks. Now, Viggo Mortensen as Taskmaster, that is fantastic casting. And Ray Winstone there playing Black Widow's father, I'm over the moon. I'm just a bit worried if he does a kind of dodgy Russian accent there. I'm not too sure how that would fly, but I'm excited to see where they actually go with this. But Viggo Mortensen playing the Taskmaster, yes, I am down to clown with that. I'm down with that. Next up, we've got the Eternals, which will feature a young version of Odin played by Ioan Gruffudd and Brian Tyree Henry's Phastos. Phastos is gay, and Thanos and Ego will have appearances. That makes absolutely the world of sense there, featuring a young Odin. Of course, the Eternals have been for thousands of years on the planet, so that makes every sort of sense that we will see a young Odin. A young Odin will be very, very cool seeing that as well. We'll see more of the Asgardian mythology. Will that be the Odin who kind of took the realms by force that we saw there when Cate Blanchett's Hela did the big reveal there towards Thor? Time will only have to tell with that. And Thanos and Ego having brief appearances again works, because Ego is a Celestial as well. He is one of the kind of oldest parts of the universe, and Thanos fits in as well because the Eternals are, well, of course, the part of the history of Thanos as well. His kind of history runs parallel with that, considering that the wolf, his brother, is going to be featured in the movie as well. So that's going to be cool. I'm excited. Let me know what you think down below. So far, these do seem very sort of, they work. They work, and they kind of fit in quite well there as well. But next up, we've got Jamie Chung and Harry Shum Jr. cast as Leiko Wu and Moving Shadow in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And Sam Rockwell returns as Justin Hammer. Now, that's interesting. The Ten Rings is very much, it should have been very much a Iron Man story. Now we've got Justin Hammer, who was obviously in Iron Man as well. So what's going to happen there? Very curious. Let's not forget that the Mandarin was in prison, and the Ten Rings are also interested in him. So with that in mind, it would fit as well. So maybe they met in prison and decided to make the Ten Rings a real thing, or they were contacted by the real Ten Rings, and we will see that happen, of course, because they retconned the Mandarin story there at the end, and he wasn't the real Mandarin. But Aldrich Killian, who created the Mandarin, he's dead, so maybe we will move on and maybe we'll see someone taking up the mantle of Iron Man involved in this later on. I'm just spitballing here. Probably won't happen, but I think that the Ten Rings will reveal who they really are, and we will see who the ones were that one shot there, Hail to the King as well. So that's going to be cool. Shang-Chi's not something I've really ever read, but it's representation as well. And we're seeing a bit of diversity, and I'm not a big fan of diversity for real diversity's sake. Fresh Off the Boat, the TV show, I absolutely love, and Crazy Rich Asians was really, really good as well. So when diversity is done well, then that's when I enjoy it, when it's being pushed upon, when we get Lady Thor, when we get, of course, as well, the absolutely abysmal Captain Marvel, and the whole kind of isn't for white men. That's not very good, in my opinion. But I'm going to take it at face value for Shang-Chi nonetheless. But next up, we've got Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and it will introduce Clea and Brother Voodoo. Brother Voodoo, very interesting there. I think that's going to be cool. Brother Voodoo, a big Doctor Strange villain nonetheless as well. And we expected him to be the dude who was following him around, his mate, so to speak, his mentor at the training facility as well for Doctor Strange. We expected him to be that, but that never really came to pass. But he's evil at the end, so it'll be interesting there. And Marvel wants Keanu Reeves for the role of Nightmare, while Scott Derrickson wants Lakeith Stanfield for the role of Brother Voodoo. So it looks like we're changing things up just a bit there. But Nightmare will be curious. Keanu Reeves playing a villain. I can't ever think of any movie where he has ever actually played a villain. If you can think of one, let me know down in the comments. I'll be interested to see what you think there as well. Do you think Keanu would make a good villain? He's just a bit too much of a nice guy to play a villain there. But we'll see where this actually goes next. But Spider-Man 3 is up next, and it won't be a Spidey-Avenger team up. It will actually be having Kraven as the main villain, with Jon Watts wanting Greg Kinnear and Maya Hawke for the roles. Most likely Norman Osborn and Gwen Stacy. But let's not forget that his identity has been shown around the world. So it's going to be interesting, and I'm really excited to actually see where they go next with this, because he is on the run. And seeing Norman Osborn is interesting. And Greg Kinnear as Norman Osborn, I'm interested. Let's not forget she also did a thing with Gwen Stacy as well. So maybe they will be introduced as a couple. Again, it's just spitballing here as well. But it will have to remain to be seen when this comes next. But we also have some big things coming from Thor, with Gore, the God Butcher, actually being one of the villains of Thor Love and Thunder. So this is kind of a recent sort of villain here, to say the least. It's very much a Jason Aaron run of Thor as well. Him only appearing in 2013. So with that in mind, it's going to be curious to see what they actually do with this. Will it be a kind of comedy, or will they start to go a bit more serious with it? We remember what happened when it was serious. It was very, very boring. But Ryan Gosling is supposed to be playing this role as well. And we will see Sif returning as well. Now, I'm hoping that him and Sif have got together, and then Jane Foster is asked to become Thor when he gets killed or whatever. It's gonna be interesting, to say the absolute least. But the sword that he actually uses was actually part of a celestial, so it's gonna be curious to see where this goes next. And he can actually kill any god. But it will remain to see how this actually goes next. It is stupidly early days. But next up as well, we've got Blade, which is set for February 2022. And Werewolf by Night is going to be the main villain. And apparently Larry the Cable Guy will play Abraham Whistler. But I can't see that happening, to be honest. I'm not too sure if that will actually happen as well. But once again, I am sorry for this video where we don't actually have kind of much editing or video parts again, because I still haven't set up my studio, and as well, images and videos seem to be getting copyright strike all the time, so I'm just using my logo for now for this video, but I hope to remain in the future, be able to use more kind of video footage. But that's it. I'll see you soon, and goodbye.